Hello and happy Tuesday. Due to an illness on the part of our lead singer, today you will be blessed with yet another video of me. I apologize in advance. Today I'm going to be doing a bit of an abridged what I learned, but first there are a couple of things you might need to know. Number one, back in high school, I, like millions and millions of others, was hardcore obsessed with a show called Grey's Anatomy. It's basically a primetime soap opera about a bunch of surgeons and interns who sleep together a lot and occasionally save other people's lives. Number two, on the production team of almost every television show, there is somebody who holds the job title Music Supervisor. This is the person responsible for finding and obtaining all the music you hear in any given episode, and is thusly the person responsible for most of the music I listened to in high school. He or she will typically seek out newer or lesser known bands because newer and lesser known bands tend to have music that is far less expensive than established and well-known bands. That's why, number three, in 2006, one such person reached out to a band in the UK named Snow Patrol. Though they were rather well known in England at the time, they were still pretty much anonymous here in the United States. This of course changed when lead vocalist and copyright holder Gary Lightbody approved the use of one of his non-singles off their newly released album Eyes Open on a number of different TV shows. Guess what one of those shows was called? Now, I know that anybody who has seen Grey's Anatomy remembers that ridiculously sad moment at the end of season 2. Thank you, Shonda Rhimes, for my bucket full of tears. Anyway, if you haven't seen it yet, it's likely you never will, but still, this is my spoiler alert. I'm about to spoil it for you. So here's the scene. The interns are all gathered in Denny's room, Izzy's crying on his shoulder, and Alex is giving this heartbreaking speech, and lo and behold, what song comes on? That's right, Chasing Cars by Snow Patrol. Within an hour of that final scene airing, that song went from outside the iTunes Top 100 list to its #1 slot. It launched them into international acclaim, and it wasn't even a single. Okay, so seriously, there's like a million different ways that I could go with this right now, but in the interest of time and the fact that most people's attention span don't last as long as my verbal diarrhea, I'm just going to focus on the main thing that I took away from this. And that's that you never know when something might change. Totally profound, right? The thing is, it might be really easy to study a successful person's life and identify the turning points that got them to where they are today. I mean, unless they're dead, then it's where they were, not where they are. But you can still identify it, the turning points. But at the time, you don't usually recognize a pivotal moment as a pivotal moment. It's just a moment. So the lead singer of Snow Patrol had no idea what he was in store for when he approved the use of that song. Turning points in our lives can happen tomorrow, or they can happen a year from now. But what's important to remember about Snow Patrol is that they had the song to approve. Like that whole thing about how you can't steer a parked car. Being at the right place at the right time is a moot point if you're not prepared for it when it happens. You can't get an offer for somebody to use your music in a hit TV show if you don't have music for people to use. You can't get a book deal if you haven't written a book. If being able to seize an opportunity is all about preparation, then the question we have to ask ourselves is, what are we preparing ourselves to do? Do we want to make great things? Do we want to help people? Do we want to inspire people, move people? My brother Cary was watching a John Green video the other day, or month, in which John was talking about copyrights. But I swear the only thing I heard in that video was the part where John Green talked about a 5-year difference when he was broke as a writer and when he was doing incredibly well as a writer. 5 years. For realsies, I think I watched that video in December and I have not been able to get it out of my head. It said that what you wake up thinking about is what you're going to get better at doing that day. So then the question becomes, if somebody came up to you tomorrow to offer you your big break or your big opportunity, your big dream job, or your big something, would you be ready for it? If your turning point was tomorrow, would it be turning in the direction that you want it to go? And if not, why not? What's stopping you? What's stopping any of us? Things are going to change whether we want them to or not, so the question is whether or not we'll be ready for them when they do. I hope we are. I hope you are. I hope I am. I hope I am more than I hope you are. No, I take that back. I'll see you next week.